let's go. I'm just turning 40, February 11th. I'm recently disabled. I have multiple disabilities. I have lupus, which I was diagnosed in 2007. I was given my last rites 3 times. I ended up getting a lupus infection, a brain infection. It was this lupus cerebritis. Endocarditis was a heart infection. I ended up getting a broken IV in my arm, so I get a blood infection. The urine was as black as ever. I had ulcers and I had staph. I was given my last rites 3 times. Mind you, I'm 6'2". I lost 36 pounds, so you can see the bones in my face and my ribs. They did an ANA test and didn't tell my parents that I was positive for lupus. Then they transferred me to Children's Hospital in Boston. Then another ANA test, and they found out, they told my parents, well, your son has lupus. And then 2019, started with my heart issues. I had my first stent. 2023, I get my second stent. And then I found out I had cardiovascular disease. My 2024, I got 2 more stents, and then I found out I had microvascular ischemia. Come to find out, I have heart failure. Last year, I was diagnosed with FND, which stands for functional neurological disorder. If you remember the old phones, you take the battery out, the electricity in the phone minus the battery, that electricity has the inability to reboot. So there's different forms. It's a rare disorder, but the way mine looks like I'm having a stroke, but I also have I had time getting the words from my brain to my mouth. I was in the neurological ICU at Tufts Hospital, and I had to go to relearn how to talk, walk. Last September, I ended up getting an SP tube because the lupus attacked my bladder, so I can't feel what I have to avoid. So I have an SP tube that's surgically placed into my bladder, and I get changed every 3 weeks. So now it's not one thing, it's another thing. So I'm 40 years old, and it's just like no matter what, I grew the short stick in life. You know what I'm saying? So that's all about me, man. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a plethora of things that have happened, and I had to redirect what I'm supposed to do in life. I have my degree in culinary arts, so I figured I'd start doing stuff on TikTok and expand to Twitch and YouTube. So that's my plan, but just financially, I'm not able to do that. I just don't have. I do this for income, which is very little. So it is what it is, but I do the best I can.
I gotcha. I didn't want to cut you off during your whole thing, and again, I want to say I'm sorry that you had to go through all those hardships and things of that nature, that you went through that whole explanation. I want to know as well, like, how have you been navigating with that? Because it seems like you do have kind of like a positive outlook on life.
Well, I used to average 85 to 114 hours a week. So getting to a point where I'm home all day and not being able to work has been a big structural shift. That obviously it's not an overnight thing. You can just go from doing everything to not doing everything to struggling financially. But I do the best I can. Again, like, my heart is older than me. I'm 40, but my heart is older than me. My aunt, my father's sister, she died at 35. She has the heart of a 90-year-old woman. So I have accepted my life for what it is. I try to stay humble, even though I struggle it. It took a while. It took a while to be where I'm at now, but I'm just trying the best I can, and I try to make people smile. That's my thing I can do. I like to help people in need, people with mental and physical disabilities, and I try to make them smile because they don't have a lot of options. They don't get to go out a lot. So I volunteered for the Challenge League for 20 plus years before my father died. My father died of COVID. And then, me, my mother, and my brother ended up being homeless for a year and a month. So that was, that top of that, So I have had a lot of stuff going on. It's just having to keep on getting up and doing things, and it's just one thing after another. You just gotta, you gotta stay humble. You can't have an overinflated ego. You gotta remember, reality is a school of life, and if you do something wrong, you're gonna take that and see how you can make a different point of view on the next day. So you just try to do the best you can, stay humble, just take one day at a time. Even though it takes a while. That's what I can just say.
Okay, I understand that. That's a great mindset to have for sure. I'm just curious on like how did you get to this headspace? Because I'm sure once the first like trauma that kind of happened to you kind of like took off,
I
you know, and then it kind of just kind of compounding. So eventually you just gave up. You were like, oh, this is what it is,
no, it's
or
just
did
that
somebody help you?
I spend all the time. I spend a lot of time by myself. I don't. I'm okay with being by myself all the time. So I've had a lot of processing, a lot of thought processing, X, Y, and Z. So I've had a lot of time to uh, surround myself with just trying to figure out what is best for me and what is best for my family. Because my mother's disabled, my brother's disabled. They don't work, and I was the only one working. So it's just it took. It should have taken me a lot longer, but I'm always by myself, so I have a lot of thinking going on, and I'm able to navigate, best I can. Even though I'm not 100% there yet, I'm still work in progress, but I've improved in significant areas, so I can say that.
Okay, so by the isolation of just processing your own thoughts is kind of what's helped you navigate through this whole
Yeah,
experience, based on
yeah,
what
yeah,
you're saying.
yeah. Yes, sir.
And I think I have a lot in common with that for sure. I think a lot of people in the life that are fully able bodies in whatever sense you want to say typically don't have the time to reflect, and that's why they still deal with their own insecurities and some of the small
Yeah,
things like spilt milk drive them nuts compared to like the hardships that you've gone through. You tend to be like, it is what it is. I'm just going to take the life that I have, and it's great just to be alive, kind of thing. It's what it seems like.
yeah, yeah.
I think that's a very
If I, like I said, if I die tomorrow, it's I've fully accepted it. I don't. In my mind, I'm already at the point where I'm aware that I'm not going to have a long life. It's just what it is. I'm not saying that I want to die. It's just saying that I've come to an understanding that my life is not going to be very long and like age wise. No, that I don't probably won't make it to the late 60s, 70s because all the guys on my father's side have died of cardiac issues in their early 60s, early 50s. So I've come to terms with that. Even though it's something I try not to look at, it's I have come to terms with that.
Do you think that your life navigating through this was harder before you accepted that reality?
I think I was oblivious to it, and I didn't want to accept it. I have a lot of aspirations I want to do, and I want to help a lot of people. And, at this current time, I can't help people, and I have a hard time asking for people to help because to me, that's not being a man. And I've my father was old school. My father's Italian, old school Italian. We didn't have that kind of emotional connection. We just talked both sports. That's about it, and we just don't. We didn't have that. So it took me a while to navigate how to express feeling because I didn't have that. Just didn't have that. It wasn't like that. And now I have a lot of improvement. Still have a lot of improvement, but I do the best I can. Now it's just I've I know I've improved over a significant time period, and keep on striving. I just want to hopefully one day, I have a lot of plans for my content if I can ever get financially in that situation I want. I think I can make a lot of people smile, and that's what at the end of the day, that's what I like to do. I like to people smile. I don't judge people by their. No, honestly I can see what they are, what color. They're all different shapes and sizes, but that doesn't. That's not what I look at. I see an individual, and I be patient. I understand. Hey, me and that individual don't have the same. We're not going through the same stuff. They might have more than me. I might have more than them, but that doesn't determine what I feel about them.
Can I ask you a little side question here a little bit? Because you talked about your father being old school and things like that. And typically,
Yeah,
old school type of mentality, especially when it comes to being a male and being vulnerable and things like that, is kind
yeah,
of
you
frowned
are.
upon because you look weak and whatnot, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, did you have a lot of your father's perspectives on life and outlook on life until you started having some of these issues in your day to day?
So I've been married twice. I'm divorced once. In my mind, and I'm not sexist, but in my mind, guys go to work, girls stay home and take care of the house. That's how I perceived it. And I'm not saying girls can't work, but I had this presumption that guys take care of the bills, girls take care of the house, and that's just the way it is. That's bottom line. I didn't believe girls work. I didn't believe girls go out and take care of business. No, they take care of the house, and that's how I perceived it.
And the other question I have too that I'm very curious about, like what I've started noticing in my own life with knowing my own mortality now, being a little bit older, is that like, did you feel like maybe that once you realized the reality of death and your mortality, that gave you more of a new form of like, I'm now living, like I am now living, like you take your life kind of for granted until you start seeing these circumstances?
Well, it's kind of strange because I never so I feel it's so my feeling inside is I've always felt obviously we're all human. Obviously, I'm not I don't want that to misjudge what I'm about to say. I always felt there was something more inside me that was unrealistic, if I may say. Like I was supposed to do more than what one should be able to do, and I there's some aspects of life that I was able to do more of than normal pizza. Like I could, between eating a bunch of food, not being full. No, I have this feeling like I still have hidden stuff that I'm not aware what my full capability is. I've always felt like I was supposed to do more in life than just being some average Joe, and that's just not me talking out my cheeks. I just there's a inner feeling that there's something of greatest status in and around. Just it wasn't. I'm supposed to do something more with my life than what normal average individuals can do.
Mhm.
So I don't know what that is yet. I haven't unlocked the keys yet. So that's what my current stance is.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that too, because I am the same mentality. I've actually done some research too and talked to the people. And a lot of people think that they're this like they have some higher purpose, and what does that mean? It doesn't mean necessarily they're going to be some godlike figure or successful in a certain way or whatever. They just mean that like I am capable of doing more than what I know I'm doing right now, in a sense, right? And that's
Yeah.
something kind of resonate with you a little bit.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you again so much for sharing your story too, man. Like again, it's you're being very vulnerable, very open about everything, and I really appreciate
Well,
taking the
I'm a
time.
very open individual. I don't have nothing to hide, my friend. I just I speak about myself. I like give people even I'm not a doctor. I don't have anything to say, but I speak on experience, and I try to give people hope and clarity. What they're going through. So that's what I try to do. And I'm not trying to be something I'm not.
I love that, man. And if you don't mind too, we've had a great conversation, and I typically like to be respectful and ask if you don't mind if I ask for your consent to maybe clip this at a later date to put out there to
Yeah, yeah,
show other
100%,
people
brother.
your story, show that we
Yeah,
can connect, and
yeah,
all
absolutely.
these things.
Do you, man? Do it. I give you my waiver. It's all good.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Hey, it's a pleasure. I wish you the best, brother.
Likewise, man. Have a good one, man.
Thank you. You too.